老公，
哎，
你会永远爱我吗？
当然啦，如果给我生个儿子就更好了。
小公主不可以。
只要是我们的孩子，我都喜欢。
问你一个问题：50岁的女人一般。
Let me ask you a question. What age group do 50-year-old women usually prefer in men? 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? If you think the answer is 40s or 50s, you might be underestimating the changes in modern women's preferences. Nowadays, many 50-year-old women prefer younger men, like those in their 20s or 30s. And why is that? Because men in this age range bring energy, vitality, and enthusiasm, qualities that can renew and inspire a more mature woman. Moreover, the age difference is no longer seen as a problem by many women. On the contrary, being with a younger man can make them feel more confident, alive, and connected to a more dynamic lifestyle. Another key point is that, at 50, many women have already achieved emotional and financial independence. They are no longer looking for a provider but rather for someone to share fun and enjoyable moments with, free from the pressures of a traditional relationship. Do you agree with me?
跟大家讲，我之前不是在健身房做那个健身教练吗？我有个大客户，是一个大姐。
Do you know what it truly means to be supported by someone? If someone gave you 200,000 to support your life, what would you choose to do? Let me share a story with you. Before, I worked as a gym instructor. I met many people, but there was one client who stood out. She was a businesswoman in her early 40s, but she looked like she was in her late 20s. She was stunning, well-maintained, strong, independent. And she always seemed to have everything under control. She would come to me not just for workouts, but for life advice, about business, relationships, and personal growth. She was someone you would think had everything figured out. But everything changed one day. She started showing a different side of herself. Her confident and independent attitude began to waver. She became distant, detached, unresponsive. When I asked her if everything was okay, she just shook her head or changed the subject. One evening, after a workout, she invited me out for a drink. I noticed something was wrong, so I decided to join her. We went to a bar. The atmosphere was intense. She began to drink more, and slowly, her inner walls started to crumble. She confessed something that left me in shock. Her husband had betrayed her. I couldn't believe it. She, who always appeared so in control, so strong, was now vulnerable and shattered. She shared how she and her husband had grown up together, how they were childhood friends, partners through thick and thin. She said she never imagined he would do something like that. That moment made me question everything. My life, my choices, my relationships. I could have taken advantage of her vulnerability, like so many people around me do. In my social circle, in gyms and clubs, I see many older women who are widows or divorced. They are often deceived by younger men, who show up out of nowhere, driving shiny new cars, but never working a real job. Men who speak beautiful words, who promise love and loyalty, but only deliver fleeting moments of illusion. I've seen friends who suddenly appear with a new car, and we never saw them working for it. It's a world of appearances, of fleeting success, where image and social standing become more important than integrity and effort. That night with her, I saw firsthand the reality of a broken relationship. She became someone I barely recognized. Her emotions were raw, uncontrollable, her strength evaporating in the harsh reality of betrayal. She showed me that in life, we all wear masks until something breaks us. But when we're truly honest with ourselves, that's when we see who we really are. I realized I don't want a future built on shortcuts or illusions. I don't want a life where I rely on someone else to lift me up. I want to build something real, something lasting, something that brings pride and satisfaction, not just wealth. I want to earn my success through effort, discipline, and commitment. I want a future where I can look in the mirror and know that everything I achieved was built on hard work, integrity, and respect. I want to show other people that success is possible, without compromising your morals, without selling your soul to quick deals and fleeting opportunities. We live in a world where appearances can deceive, but true success is grounded in commitment, persistence, and resilience. It's about standing tall even when life tries to knock you down. I want to inspire others to chase dreams that bring fulfillment, to build careers and relationships that stand the test of time. I want to live a life that leaves a legacy of honesty, respect, and dedication. Let's stop chasing illusions. Let's stop living in a world of temporary gains. Let's build a life that's meaningful. A life that brings respect and self-respect. A life where we can look back and say, I earned this. Not through shortcuts, not through compromise, but through commitment, hard work, and purpose. That's the kind of life I want. That's the kind of future I'll fight for. Not just success, but significance. Not just wealth, but worth. Not just appearances, but substance. Let's aim to live with integrity, to succeed with purpose, and to inspire others not only with our achievements, but with how we achieved them, honestly, diligently, and with an unwavering commitment to who we truly are.
Why a 47-year-old woman chased a younger man and lost everything. I'm 47 years old. I've lived a life full of struggles, work, motherhood, and moments where I stood tall despite everything life threw at me. But there comes a time when we all reflect on what we missed, on the dreams we let slip away. I saw older men chasing after young women, trying to rewrite their stories, feeling like they were still young and desirable. And I thought, why shouldn't I have that chance too? Why can't I, too, find a younger man and reignite the spark I once believed in? I wanted love. I wanted passion. I wanted that thrilling feeling of being desired, of being wanted by someone who saw me as more than just an older woman. So I stepped into that world, hoping to find happiness, to reclaim the love I felt I had left behind. I believed I deserved someone who would make me feel alive again, who would cherish me, someone who would make me feel radiant and special. At first, everything seemed magical. He was younger, confident, full of charm, exactly the kind of man I had dreamed about. He showed me laughter, trips, expensive dinners, and whispered promises of a future together where we'd thrive as partners. It felt like a dream, but dreams often turn into nightmares. He took everything, my heart, my trust, and my money. He lied about investments, about opportunities, about the future we would have. He told stories of businesses that didn't exist, about wealth that was just a fantasy. He manipulated me, using my desire for love and happiness against me, until I found myself completely stripped of financial security. The man I trusted turned into a shadow, disappearing as quickly as he appeared, leaving me with debts and a shattered sense of self. I had tried to follow the same path older men take, seeking a young partner to rediscover passion and joy. But I became the cautionary tale instead. I became a woman who had given everything for a fleeting illusion, only to end up disillusioned and betrayed. But I've come to see this experience not just as a loss, but as a wake-up call. Love shouldn't be about chasing youth or fleeting desires. It should be about respect, mutual support, and real connection. A relationship should lift us, not tear us down. We need partners who stand by us, not those who use us as stepping stones for their own ambitions. I've learned that self-love and self-respect are the foundations of any meaningful connection. Before seeking someone else's love, we need to find love within ourselves. We need to recognize our own worth, our own journey, and cherish everything we've built. So I ask you, how far would you go for love? Have you ever experienced something like this? A relationship where you gave everything, only to be left with nothing? Share your story in the comments. Let's talk about the lessons we've learned. Let's remind each other that love is not about illusions. It's about standing strong, having boundaries, and seeking someone who truly sees and respects us for who we are. We all deserve happiness. We all deserve love. And most importantly, we deserve someone who truly sees us, not just for what we have, but for who we are. Let's learn, together, to love wisely and to choose partners who reflect respect, loyalty, and honesty. Partners who lift us up, rather than bring us down.
Young boy. I still look for someone born in 00. Ha ha ha. Many people think that a dominant woman likes control, believing that finding someone younger means having control. But it's not like that. Young people are completely uncontrollable. If you've ever hired young employees, you know that they are difficult to control, because they can't be threatened. They can't be manipulated. They don't bend easily. And they don't strengthen under pressure. Their focus is only on their own happiness. So, when you interact with this kind of guy, you feel that he is more authentic. Why do women nowadays prefer to find a younger brother? I think there's another point. You can't deny that humanity is evolving. And we can't judge a person's mental and spiritual aspects just by age. I noticed this a long time ago. People born in the 70s have more spiritual maturity than those born in the 60s. Those born in the 80s have more than those born in the 70s. And someone born in the noughties has a higher spiritual level than someone born in the 90s. Just chatting with them, you realize, I'm from the 70s. But I struggle to communicate with someone from the 60s. However, when I talk to someone born in the noughties, he understands me instantly. Talking with my son, we both nourish each other. I get exactly what he's saying. And he instantly understands what I'm saying. There was a moment when I lost emotional control in our family group. And while venting, it was my son who calmed me down. Surprising, right? He empathized with me instantly, understood my situation without hesitation. If I were an older woman and looking for a boyfriend, I would choose someone born in the noughties. Someone who would come up and say, I understand you, rather than someone born in the 60s, who would criticize me every day, never understand me, and try to teach me with old excuses and arguments. From my perspective, as an independent and strong woman, I look for emotional value, affection, aesthetic value, and spiritual connections. I believe these young boys can provide all of that more easily. Did you know that older people have two problems? First, they have exceptional abilities and success in their careers, and they often become arrogant, wanting to teach others with an authoritative tone. The second group, on the other hand, comes from a history of failures, but still tries to teach others with an arrogant attitude. Between these two groups, which one is worth it? Neither. However, young people have an extra advantage. They often receive better education, have more diverse life experiences, and are less arrogant. They have a more open mindset, are more tolerant and understanding, and possess a higher spiritual level. It's more likely that they'll form a stronger genetic and emotional connection, and also create a physical affinity. For all these reasons, why choose a bad relationship when you can find someone who truly deserves it? A true relationship of value is one where both can admire each other, recognizing and respecting each other's merits and worth. It's this mutual connection and respect that ensure lasting and meaningful relationships.
The ending was devastating. If you don't want to keep supporting me, I'll destroy your family. In 2021, a wealthy woman from Shanghai, aged 42, spent over 2 million yuan to support a handsome 28-year-old man. After some time, the young man, seeking to make their relationship official, proposed to the wealthy woman. However, what followed was a terrible act of revenge. The outcome of this story is unimaginable. This woman, named Jiang Yu, was a senior executive at a Shanghai company, while her husband was an executive at another firm. Married for years, the couple had 2 sons. Despite being 42 years old, Jiang Yu took excellent care of herself and looked like she was under 30. As the saying goes, the higher the income, the greater the stress. Jiang Yu often went out to bars after work, without her husband's knowledge, to relax. In the vibrant nightlife, surrounded by flashing lights and youthful allure, she felt free and at ease. One night, she met Chen Xiaohu, a 28-year-old man. Born in a rural area, Xiaohu had a father addicted to gambling, who lost everything and left the family in debt. With no other choice, Xiaohu dropped out of school and moved to the city to work. In Shanghai, he dreamed of becoming like Xu Wenchang from the famous series Shanghai Bund, achieving success through hard work and ambition. But reality hit him hard. He realized Shanghai was full of highly educated talent and fearless individuals, and that the days of fighting for turf were long gone. After failing repeatedly to find a good job, Xiaohu ended up as a waiter in a bar. However, Xiaohu had an advantage: good looks, a fit body with chest and abs that women admired. Because of this, he became popular among wealthy female patrons. Jiang Yu, being a VIP at the bar, particularly enjoyed being served by Xiaohu, and the two became close. Eventually, after a night of drinking, they crossed moral and legal boundaries, beginning an extramarital relationship. From then on, Jiang Yu spent tens of thousands of yuan monthly on Xiaohu. With her support, Xiaohu paid off his father's gambling debts and even built a house in his hometown. To the locals, it seemed Xiaohu had achieved great success in the big city. Initially, Xiaohu intended to be an honorable man, but he realized that living off a wealthy woman was much easier and more comfortable. However, he feared that Jiang Yu might tire of him and move on to another young waiter.
Determined to secure his future, Xiaohu bought flowers and a diamond ring with Jiang Yu's money and proposed to her. He believed that if he became official, he could enjoy a lifetime of financial stability. But Jiang Yu, being intelligent and experienced, rejected the proposal outright. She began to distance herself from him, effectively ending the relationship. Without her financial support, Xiaohu's income plummeted, and he couldn't handle the situation. In a fit of rage, he grabbed a knife and went to Jiang Yu's home. When Jiang Yu opened the door, she was immediately attacked. Xiaohu also severely injured her two sons before being stopped. A housekeeper called the police and all three were taken to the hospital, but her younger son succumbed to his injuries. Jiang Yu's husband was devastated upon learning the truth, seeing his family destroyed and his life ruined. Although Xiaohu was arrested and is awaiting trial, the tragedy left irreparable damage for everyone involved. This story shows that betrayal and unbridled ambition often lead to painful outcomes. What are your thoughts on this?
At the moment when a 25-year-old guy hugged a billionaire woman and began acting all lovey-dovey, I finally understood what it means to be a real man. It's about knowing how to humble yourself while also elevating yourself. Take Dalinzi, for example. She's a billionaire woman who isn't exactly a beauty queen and has a body that approaches 200 pounds, yet she managed to snag a husband who's 10 years younger after already cycling through multiple boyfriends. Their daily life is a mix of over-the-top romance. It's not uncommon for the husband to be cooking and suddenly Dalinzi jumps up behind him out of nowhere, or they share passionate kisses. When they're happy, she lovingly touches his muscles with her hands full of wealth and ambition. Their love is so intense that their life could be summed up in one word: surreal. That's why many internet users have gone to Dalinzi asking how to have a real love. The truth is, having a real love is surprisingly simple and cheap. No need for impressive skills or talent. Just make sure he's taken care of financially and emotionally all year round, and throw in a lavish love nest that spans 300 square feet. When she made this statement, many assumed it was just another publicity stunt. Plus, despite her growing wealth, the sofas in her house were worn out with peeling leather. Naturally, suspicions arose that everything was staged. But here's where it gets interesting. When you observe Dalinzi's husband, you see a man who looks at her with eyes overflowing with love. This suggests that their love isn't about appearances, it's about something deeper, more emotional and personal. It's honestly pretty funny. I'm not here to judge anyone this time. I believe older men do the same thing. People with money, men and women alike, seek relationships with younger partners to escape the reality of getting older. And honestly, I don't see a problem with that. If they believe it's not just an illusion or a transactional relationship masked as love, then good for them. In the end, these relationships are based on mutual interests. The young man wants stability and financial support, while the older one seeks social validation. I won't dive too deeply into this dilemma. I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments. What do you think about all of this? If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.